Hey everybody, it's Rich Toll, and thanks for tuning in to TOLA Talks, my 21st century talk for a no bullshit world. Because who doesn't want to take their game to the next level, regardless of the sacrifices that you might have to endure to get there? Yeah, we're going to be talking about that today, and also about how TOLA Talks is embarking on a new platform, YouTube, in the video format, right? We just spent the last 60 shows, 3 months worth at LA Talk Radio, coming to you live on the radio, internet radio that is. So now we're going to be combining the MP3 format, right, which will be on my website, richtola.com, with this new video platform. Love it. YouTube TOLA Talks. So check it out. Pretty excited. And we spent the past few months over at LA Talk Radio. So I want to give a shout out to Sam, the owner, Ronnie and Ronan, who helped out with the engineering. It was a great show. Really excited to hone my skills in the live broadcasting category, as well as come up with a format for this show. Love it. So we're going to go to a 30-minute format now. Previously, it was about an hour. So check it out. You can check out any of the shows on my site. Right, richtola.com. Go check it out, all the blogs. We have rich picks, the best of the best, and I have live music, right? We had a lot of live music, a lot of bands and singer-songwriters come in. I think there's about 15 or so on the website under the live music tab, so check it out because we're evolving and not revolving. Concept we talked about with attorney Paul Finizio. He was on a previous show. You guys can go check that out, but it's all about evolving yourself, your brand, your soul. We're going to keep moving forward. Yeah, let's do that. And if you missed Friday's show, I want to give a shout out to our casting directors, our Hollywood casting directors, Kevin Mockran and Karina Walters of Mockran Walters Casting. Go check it out. Great show, right? We actually played a little music there. We played the theme song to my film, Boulevard Zen, and you guys know I'm a cinephile, so we're going to be referencing films throughout my show, all the shows. Love it. Give you some details. And speaking of which, it is Movie Monday, right? Mondays are Movie Mondays. We're going to be reviewing the latest film in the Hunger Games saga, Mockingjay Part I. You're going to love that. We do a review later. But let's get started with some celebrity birthday shout-outs. Like to get started with these. Let's give a shout-out to Katherine Heigl. Everybody knows Katherine from Grey's Anatomy, right? Dr. Izzy Stevens. She's 36 today. She's also in the new one, State of Affairs, her new show. But I loved her in Knocked Up from 2007 with Seth Rogen. She was awesome in that. How about 27 Dresses with James Marsden? I mean, she's a good, I'll tell you, Katherine, keep rocking it. And how about Colin Hanks, right? Tom Hanks' son. Colin Hanks is 35 today. Give a shout out to him. He played Jack Bailey in the series The Good Guys. Or you might remember him as the love interest of Katherine Heigl in the sci-fi series Roswell from 1999 to 2001, a couple years. Or the OC, he was on the OC and Band of Brothers. Yeah, he's been around for a little while, Colin Hanks. And give a shout out to the Big O. Who are we talking about? Oscar Robertson. He's 76 years old today, the Hall of Fame basketball guard who played 14 seasons in the NBA. Right? He's the only player in the NBA to average a triple-double for an entire season. What's a triple-double, you might ask? Well, it's when a player records double-digit figures in the three of the following stats: points, total rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks. So out of those 5 categories, you got to get 3 of them, triple-doubles. And in Cincinnati, when he played Cincinnati from 1961 to 62, he had 30.8 points per game, 12.5 rebounds per game, and 11.4 assists per game. He actually had an NBA career of 181 games where he had a triple-double. That's huge. And he retired in 1974. He was the league's all-time leader in assists. He had 9,887. Well, that has now been surpassed by John Stockton. Everybody knows the great Stockton. He has a total of 15,806. So Oscar's down around the number 6 on that list, but he was a great one. Happy birthday, guys. All right, let's move on to this day in history. Like to do this. In 1859, everybody knows Charles Darwin, right? He published his book on the origin of species, which introduced the scientific theory that populations evolve, there's that word again, over the course of generations through a process of natural selection, or more specifically, survival of the fittest. Everybody knows that. Here you go, 1859 on this day. On this day in 1871, the National Rifle Association was organized in New York City, for all you gun-toting fans out there. 1932, the FBI's Scientific Crime Detection Laboratory was opened in Washington, D.C. It's not on the show Bones, but it's better known as the FBI Crime Lab. So that opened 1932. 1954, Air Force One was the first U.S. presidential airplane was christened. Yeah, on that day by Dwight D. Eisenhower and Richard Nixon. Remember Vice President Nixon? That was 1954. 1960, going back to basketball, Wilt Chamberlain pulled down 55 rebounds in a single game. He actually had 31 rebounds in the first half alone. The most anybody. The record still holds. And he was playing for the Philadelphia Warriors against the Boston Celtics. Way to go, Wilt. And in 2012, just 2 years ago on this day, everybody remember? Gangnam Style. The video became the most viewed YouTube video, I should be so lucky, with 808 million views. You know, on Friday's show, we talked about Carly Jepsen. Remember, Call Me Maybe? She had over 400 million views, which skyrocketed her to fame. But, there you go. So let's go around the world for the latest news. Like to do this. We like to give out a couple of stories here because I do want to get to the movie. But here we go. We're calling this first one, Black is the New Black. What are we talking about? Black Friday gets blacker by the day because there's no longer Black Friday. It's Black Week. The week starts, right? It started yesterday, Sunday. So what are we talking about? Dell, Microsoft, and Staples are getting in on the action. Yeah, they don't want to be left out. All sorts of deals leading up to the days before Black Friday, even through Thanksgiving. How about Staples? Started yesterday through to Tuesday. Staples is offering Beats Solo headsets. I don't have one of those. I should go get me one of those for $79.99. That's $90 off the price. Pretty good deal. They're giving $100 off select tablets and PCs, and a lot of deals from Amazon and Apple products, and they're offering a 25% off for a one full-priced item on Wednesday, the 26th, day before Thanksgiving. Check it out, Staples. I think I got to run over there myself. How about Dell? Getting in on these bundling deals. Love this. Xbox One bundle. There's a PlayStation 4 bundle with the Grand Theft Auto 5 and The Last of Us. I'm not much of a gamer, but if you are, for $399.99, 1 penny shy of $400, you can get that. You can also get a $50 e-gift card with the Alienware Alpha system. I'm not too familiar with that. But remember, folks, limited quantities do apply, and a lot of these deals are going on starting 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving Eve. I mean, forget about Black Friday, right? It's all about this whole week. What about Microsoft? When are they giving deals? They're giving deals on the Surface tablets, $100 to $150 off, right? And the Nokia Lumia telephone, it's not the most powerful smartphone out there, but they say it's great for kids. You can get that with the Windows 8.1 operating system, which is much better, right? It's an upgrade, and that comes for $39 without a contract. I mean, can you believe it? Some cheap stuff out there. Get your deals while they last. Black Friday is already upon us. Here we go. Moving on. We're calling this Survival of the Smartest. Yeah, I like this one. According to the National Center for Education, 41% of Americans aged 18 to 24 were enrolled in a 2 or a 4-year degree-granting institution. College, that is, right? Associate's degree, bachelor's degree. Far more than the 25% was in 1967. Now, that's like a million years ago. For those who can even remember, I was 4 years old at the time. But as of last year, nearly 30% of all American adults 25 and older have attained at least a bachelor's degree. That's pretty darn good. And we're going to count down the top 10 most educated cities in America. But let's just say the least educated city in America is Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Ouch, with 11.3%. So here's what we're going to do. We're saying, let me give you some stats here. A typical American adult with less than a high school education makes just over $20,000 a year. Now, typical American adult holding a bachelor's degree, more than $50,000. Do the math, guys. Stay in school. Learning is power, right? Knowledge is power. Stay in school best you can. Here we go, counting it down. 10 most educated cities in America. Just taking a look at our board over here. See the little setup we have, a little tight one here, but I really like it. I hope you like our new set. Hey, if you have any comments for us, info@richtola.com. Reach out. I'll hit you back. If you have any questions, send your questions. I'll be answering them on the air throughout the week. Here we go. 10 most educated cities in America. Number 10, we're going to count them down. Durham, Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I know it well. Michael Jordan, the great basketball player, went to University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Awesome school there, but talk about being educated, right? Now, here are the 3 stats. The bachelor's degree or higher, give you a percentage, 45.5%. The median income for bachelor's or higher is $43,000, and the poverty rate is 16.9% in the Durham, Chapel Hill. Counting them down, number 9, Bridgeport, Stamford, Norwalk, Connecticut. Know it well. Did some real estate business in Stamford back in the day. Bachelor's degree or higher, 45.5%. Median income, $67,000. That's pretty good. Poverty rate, 9.6. Really low. Definitely low out of the 10 on this list. Okay, number 8, counting down. San Jose, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, California. That's central part of the state. Well, we know California, we got some good numbers here. Bachelor's degree, 46.7%. Median income for bachelor's, $75,000. Big numbers. Biggest numbers so far. And the poverty rate's 10.5%. Pretty good. Number 7, Ames, Iowa. Never been to Ames, Iowa, but bachelor's or more, 48%. Median income, $43,000. Poverty rate, 23.5. Kind of high. I don't know. The next one's also in Iowa. Iowa City. I've never been to Iowa. Bachelor's or more, 48.6%. Median income, $38,000, almost $39,000. Poverty rate, 15.6. Not too shabby. How about number 5, Lawrence, Kansas? We're going to be talking Jennifer Lawrence later. She's not from Lawrence, Kansas, and we're not in Kansas anymore. We're in L.A., coming to you from bright, sunny L.A., the Burbank area to be exact. Yeah, so Lawrence, Kansas, bachelor's, 50%. That's 1 out of 2. Think about it. Adults, median income, $40,000. Really good. I mean, $40,000 probably goes a long way in Lawrence, Kansas. Poverty rate, 17%. Hey, you got to think about moving there. How about number 4, Ithaca, New York? I know Ithaca. I know that. Been there. Also did some real estate there back in the day. Bachelor's, 51%. Pretty good. Median income is $36,000, and the poverty rate, 20%. It's kind of high, but what are you going to do? Number 3, Corvallis, Oregon. Never been to Oregon. Bachelor's or more, 52%. Median income, $36,000. Poverty rate's 23%. Kind of high there. Number 2, Ann Arbor, Michigan. I spent the Thanksgiving there. My buddy Rosie, give a shout out to Rosie. He's in Philly, but from Ann Arbor. 53.5%, bachelor's or more. Median income, $47,000. And poverty, 16.7%. Not too bad. And who's the number 1? Boulder, Colorado. Aside from getting all your marijuana over there, you want to move to Boulder, Colorado. Check it out. Bachelor's or more, 58.5%. That's huge. Almost 60%, almost 6 out of 10. Median income, close to $72,000. Wow, you buy a lot of marijuana with that. And poverty rate, 13.9%. I want to give a thanks to our buddy Thomas Froelich put this together from 24/7 Wall Street. Thank you, Thomas, for our top 10. Way to count it down. All right, let's move on. Now, this past weekend, you guys should know this. If you don't know this, you definitely should know this. But this is 51st anniversary. What are we talking about? And I don't remember it. I was 6 months old at the time, 7 months to be exact. But it's the 51st anniversary of the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. Probably one of the most popular or most well-liked president of probably ever of all time. Well, he was killed, we know, on November 22nd, 1963. It took place about 12:30 in the afternoon in Dallas at Dealey Plaza. I visited the plaza, and I visited the warehouse where the shot was kind of interesting. When you go there and you're trying to figure it all out, who knows? They haven't solved it. Well, maybe they did solve it. But he was fatally shot by a sniper while traveling in the motorcade with his wife, Jacqueline, Texas Governor John Connally, and Connally's wife, Nellie. But I want to give you 3 quotes from JFK that I think Three best quotes has ever come out of that man's mouth that impact society, and it should impact you. Let's have a listen. Number 1, liberty without learning is always in peril. Learning without liberty is always in vain. Listen to that, man. Learning is key. You got to empower yourself with knowledge. You got to learn. Keep learning. Second, Fo's favorite quote. The stories of past courage can define that ingredient. They can teach, they can offer hope, they can provide inspiration, but they cannot supply courage itself. For this, each man must look into his own soul. Think about that. You can derive courage. I derived courage from yoga back when to get me into the entertainment business, but you need to find it on your own. Look inside yourself. Of course, other people have it. Get that inspiration, but the ingredient, you got to get it. Look inside your soul. Third quote, love this. There are risks and costs to a program of action, but they are far less than the long-range risks and costs of comfortable inaction. What are we talking about? Taking action is scary. Starting a new YouTube channel, right? Leaving the comforts of a really nice radio station, internet station, to come here and forge a path to say, hey, I want to bring this to the viewers of YouTube. Well, guess what? You got to take action. There's always risks and costs associated with it. But if you're sitting back on your heels, you get comfortable with inaction, don't do it. Take it upon yourself. Take the action. Take the shot. Go for it. Gamble. Why not? It's you. It's your life. You only get one shot. Here you go. President John F. Kennedy, one of the greats. Let's move on to this story. I'm calling it, Here Comes the Snow. Here comes the snow. I sure as hell can't sing. But what are we talking about? Snow and rain have been predicted to hit the Northeast this week, bringing travel chaos to all the families headed home for Thanksgiving. Hey, be careful out there, people. The storm is over the Atlantic. They said could bring rain and snow from Boston and Miami. Miami getting snow? That's insane. Yeah, worst case scenario, they're saying 6 inches from New York to Washington, D.C. Well, I mean, that's not so bad. We've saw 6 feet of snow. There were some previous stories. But the good news is New York hasn't seen snow on Thanksgiving since 1989. I moved there in the mid-90s, but I remember 1989. Yeah, the bad news is travel, snarls, of course. I-95, ouch. Anybody driven there? I know it well. Commuter planes, it's going to all struggle. But AccuWeather is saying there's a band of freezing rain along the coast, and inland there's some snow, so it could strike in the middle of the week, leaving us with delays. Hey, keep your cool, people. Have the courage to be a good guy about it. Don't go crazy. Right? I know the winds are already picking up. This morning there was delays in New York, Boston, Chicago, and Philly, all towns that I know quite well. So, hey, travelers, be safe out there, right? Don't get any road rage. And on that note, oh, I like that. That's our new transition. You know, when we're on the radio, we had the swooshes. I'm going to use our little yoga bell here. Here we go. Get Your Shit Together Award. Every day we give out a Get Your Shit Together Award, which is given to the person who really needs to get their shit together based on a podcast I did with 30 episodes. If you want to check it out, go to my website, richtola.com. It's also on iTunes, but it's about getting your shit together in every compartment in your life. This is a positive thing, folks. This isn't negative. We're not going to berate you for not having it together, but yeah, we've given it out in the past. The Palin family got it they were boozing, got in a fight. Michael Phelps. A lot of people have received it over the past 60 shows, but in this instance, this is pretty nasty. This woman, she deserves a lot more than the Get Your Shit Together Award. We're going to Sydney, Australia, actually right outside of Sydney, Australia, where a woman was charged with attempted murder. Yeah, attempted murder after a newborn baby was found in a drain. I mean, what are you thinking? Many, many other possibilities to have that baby find a good home, like adoption, than killing your baby. This is insane. Cyclists riding along a bike path near the M7 highway in the western Sydney suburb of Quaker Hill. They heard the crying from an 8-foot drain yesterday morning. Okay, they lifted off the top. The baby boy was found at the bottom. I mean, this is scary. Sefali Nye, a 30-year-old mother, was arrested following an investigation. I mean, this lady faces up to 25 years in prison if she's convicted. How could she not be convicted? She tried to kill the baby, leaving a baby in the drain. They said the baby was 7 days old and it could have been there for 6 days. So she probably had the baby and makes no sense. Don't know, but the baby's in serious but stable condition. Hopefully they're going to find a new home. And the cyclist, quote, said the noise was so intense you couldn't tell it was a baby. We couldn't see it, but we could hear it. It was distressed. No kidding, it was distressed. So, Miss Nye, you got to do more than get your shit together, okay? You can't be leaving babies in a drain to die. That's murder. Next. Let's move on. That's insane. I want to move on to the Hunger Games. Here we go. Mockingjay Part I. Went to see it yesterday. Matinee, as I always do. We reviewed a lot of movies, 12 movies to be exact. Just to give you a little throwback, I've only given one film, Interstellar, a 2.5 thumbs, because they give 3 thumbs, right? 1, 2, or 3, or you can get a half a score. We've had them anywhere from 1 to 2.5 over the past 12 weeks. Again, Interstellar being the highest score to date. Let's see what we're going to do here, but first let me review the film. For those of you who've seen it, you know all this. For those of you who haven't seen it, we're not going to give anything away, so no worries. But let's get started. 2 words to describe this film. Jennifer Lawrence. She's awesome. What else is she here? She's intense. She's beautiful, tormented, confused, passionate, sexy, likable, lovable. Did I say intense? Oh, yeah, and I'm just talking about her pictures on the internet. All right, everybody's seen her nude pics. By the way, Jennifer, you're gorgeous. I mean, hey, you're interested in an older guy who's in really great shape? Hit me up, email. But no, anyway, there were some really cool shots. I mean, by the way, we did a thing on Kim Kardashian and all these nude photos. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, these women are in their prime, are looking quite beautiful, and they want to put themselves out there. What's the difference? I mean, who cares? Guys like it. Women probably like it too. So I don't have a problem with it. If you're doing it for publicity, whatever, so what? Keep doing it. But I'm thinking you're doing it because you look amazing now, and who knows what the world's going to do to you in the next 20, 30 years. I don't really know, but all I know is I have no problem with it. Those are some great shots, Jennifer. And there was one in particular. The first word that came to mind was a word spoken by Kristen Stewart in a movie with James Gandolfini. Did you see the movie about the Rileys? Cooter. Remember? So Jennifer's bending over. She's got the black heels on, and that's a good shot too, girl. Anyway, let's talk about this movie, because this movie is all about deep feelings. And deep feelings of what? The struggle, right? The struggle. And what else is this movie about? The music. I mean, I can't believe how powerful the music was, but we're going to get back to that. Let's give you the description based on what you read on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database. If you guys know that, here's what they say. They say when Katniss, Jennifer Lawrence, of course, destroys the game, she goes to District 13 after District 12 has been destroyed. District 12 is where she's from, of course. She meets President Coin, played by the lovely Julianne Moore, who convinces her to be a symbol of rebellion, or of the rebellion, while trying to save Peeta from the Capitol. So her boy Peeta is captured by the Capitol. Anyway, you can go read all about that, but this movie did $123 million in the opening weekend. It premiered on 11/21, right, by director Francis Lawrence, and he was from I Am Legend. Remember I Am Legend with Will Smith in 2007? He did the other Hunger Games. I mean, I really like him. I like his work. Who's in this film? Josh Hutcherson, we know that, Peeta. We got Liam Hemsworth, who plays Gale. Kind of a love interest to Jennifer. Woody Harrelson. I love Woody Harrelson. Yeah, I used to play basketball with Woody Harrelson back in the day in the 1989 when I lived in L.A. He plays Hamish. How about Philip Seymour Hoffman? He's back. Rest in peace. Elizabeth Banks plays Effie. She did a great job in the previous years. You don't see a lot of her in this, or you don't see a lot of Woody Harrelson, I will say. And how about Natalie Dormer? I liked her in this. She's from Game of Thrones. She's all badass. She's been around for like 10 years, but yeah, she does a good job here. Let's see, The Mockingjay, it debuted, it doesn't compare to other movies in the franchise, right? Catching Fire did $158 million its opening weekend. The original Hunger Games did $152 million. In comparison to some of the other trilogies, Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1 did $138 million, eclipsed this one. And Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1 did $125 million. So, not saying it's living up to those numbers. It did get a pretty good crowd when I was in the movie theater. But I'm going to come back to this music concept because the music is so moody that it often pulls or propels the characters into action, which, I don't know. I mean, it's ahead of the characters. It kind of explains the scene sometimes before you even see the characters. But this movie's all about setting you up for the finale, which is part 2, right? We know the finale. This is part 1. You're going to get to part 2. Is it a good film? Yes. How good is it? Actors are excellent. I love our buddy Woody Harrelson. You don't see him too much. Philip Seymour Hoffman, not his best work ever, but he does a good job. Julianne Moore, again, really good. They actually thought about Jodie Foster for that role. She didn't get it, but Julianne does a good job. Jennifer Lawrence, she's outstanding. The girl can act. No bullshit here. No doubt. That's a good thing because she carries this film. Not a lot of killings. Not really. No blood and guts. Not really. Devastation? Yes. Cities get blown away. Not a lot of people. You don't see a lot of that. That's actually, maybe it's a good thing. Annihilation-esque? Yes. It's not an I Am Legend kind of film or, Interstellar. Nothing like that. Is it apocalyptic? Again, not really, but you got a lot riding on the actions of the star, which, again, Jennifer handles quite well. Liam Hemsworth? Yeah, I guess he's a hot dude. I mean, he's a big guy, that's for sure. But I'm not seeing the energy between them. And I'll give you a little trivia later. There's no romance, none to speak of, right? There's no sex. There's no sex at all. It's kind of drab. I mean, the clothes they wear is drab. The film's kind of got a darkness to it. We know that. The cinematography, by the way, is excellent. Does a great job of the cinematography. I like the way the camera kind of moves around. They really get those close shots. It's good. It's all about the actions. It's not about character development. The characters have already been developed in the previous movies. We know that. That's kind of too bad. You want to maybe see them unfold a little more. Now, if you haven't seen it, it's easy to figure out. The ending's really cool, though, I will say. It's unexpected, a little freaky, but did like it. It's an entertaining film. Doesn't feel like it's 2 hours long. Goes pretty quick. Couple times I was on the edge of my seat, but not really on the edge of my seat. I just leaned forward to kind of really get a flavor for what's going on with those feelings. Kind of depressing, I will say, but it is an against the odds kind of film. And does it make sense? It does make sense, but it's not really that complex. There's nothing all that complex about it. If you're a Jennifer Lawrence fan, you're going to love it. It kind of feels a little Divergent-esque, with Shane playing the part. I mean, this is Jennifer Lawrence's role. Katniss is her, for sure. It could have been played by anyone. Nah, not really. She's the one who plays it. Part 1, it's all about getting you to part 2, no doubt. And I will go see part 2. You got to go see part 2 because that's kind of where all the action's going to be, and that's going to rock it. I'm giving that one hopefully a little more hope, because in hope, that's what this movie's all about, hope. And you kind of hope there's more sex in the next one. I definitely want to see some more action there, and without getting into any full frontal nudity, which we've already seen in your selfie. I did enjoy that one, by the way. But I am glad I went to the matinee. I went to a 9:30 show, to be exact, on Sunday morning. Yeah, the movie theater wasn't packed, but I will say there was 80% adults and 20% teens, which I thought was going to be the other way around. It wasn't. There was no clapping, and sometimes in Burbank, we clap for movies. There wasn't a lot of clapping. Nobody stood up or whatever. But I will say this. People stayed in their chairs. When I was leaving, I was watching the credits, and I was almost thinking, are they going to show previews from the next one? Which I wish they did. They did not. So, what did the voters say? On IMDb, 25,000 people voted on this. 70% were male, and 80% of those males were between 18 and 29. So you're getting a lot of people 18 to 29. Not a lot of people over 45 voting, but the voters gave it a 7.4 on a scale of 0 to 10. Not too bad. Some trivia. Philip Seymour Hoffman, he tragically died within 1 week before the filming ended. They were able to finish the film, and it didn't affect the film, but that's sad. He was a tremendous talent. Rest in peace. I told you about Jodie Foster. Okay, this is the last book, obviously, in the Hunger Game trilogy. They split into 2 parts. And Natalie Dormer, she shaved her head. Way to go, girl. You rocked it. Nice, be badass. And according to Liam Hemsworth, whose brother was Sexiest Man Alive by People magazine, right? We did do a story on that last week. Well, he says that Jennifer Lawrence ate garlic or tuna fish before any of the kissing scenes, which I think there was only 1 or 2. I don't even remember. Nothing really sexy about those kissing scenes either. So maybe that was part of it, right? You were playing character, and I don't know, but I will say this: Katniss only shoots 1 arrow the entire film. So whatever happened to her skills, she's not showing off her skills here. Anyway, what am I giving this? 2 thumbs. That's it. Not 2.5. Man, it's not that good. I'm hoping for the second one to be a lot better. I will say, hopefully we're going to get that up there. But there you go. Movie Mondays, The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part I. We're giving it 2 thumbs. So that's our show for today, folks. And I really appreciate you tuning in. This is our first YouTube broadcast, right? Having fun with that. You want to listen to the MP3? Go check it out on my website, richtola.com, where you find the rich picks. We're going to put some more rich picks from the previous shows up there today. And yeah, check it out. Look at the live music. A lot of fun. And tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow's Top 10 Tuesday. Each day we have a theme. You're going to love it. We have a WTF Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, and Freaky Friday. So tomorrow, Top 10 Tuesday. Check it out, folks. Because I'm Rich Tola. And remember, dreams do come true, but hey, what do I know?